Alright, we're good. She's recording now.
Please wait. Checking system resources. Checking lift motor communication. Path. Checking chamber drive communications. Path. Checking temperature sensor communications.
You get to narrate again for the third time.
Path.
Right. No, that's fine.
Checking pressure sensor communications. Path. Checking moisture sensor communications. Path. System ready.
Okay, once the system has started up and done its self-tests, the operator has two choices. He can quit the program or he can log in. Once an operator is logged in, say it's the end of his shift, he can hit this button again and log out and let somebody else log in. Whoever the current operator logged in is will show up here. So we'll log in. I'm going to log in as a super user because it lets me do everything. You can't do this.
Welcome, Bruce. Are you ready to test?
Well, I'm not actually ready to test, but just to show you a couple of the other screens here, we can go into, where's the one I want to bring us to? Let's go to the system settings. This is a screen where a person with administrative privileges can add people to the login. Tell us at what level they are. They could, they could be an admin, they could be a regular user or a super user. It'll also store their email address if you want to enable email so that they're on a list that they receive test reports or error reports. You'll be able to change the language. Right now English is the only currently available one. For maintenance purposes, we recommend that after so many tests, certain maintenance is performed. So we put a number in here when you're done with so many tests that it will stop testing. You have to do your maintenance. And there's a display that shows the current number of tests already performed. There's other things on here where you set up the mail account. And you can configure the mail server. Resize the display to a different screen. So we'll leave this screen. There's a technician mode so that a technician with the right login can troubleshoot the system, and that will be over here. And he can do things like, let's read the latch into lock and it's reading good. Let's turn on a water valve, let's close the water valve. Let's turn on a pump, close a pump. Let's tell the stepper motor to move to position number 4. And we get feedback that says it has moved to position number 4. You can use any of the hardware in the system. You can test out from this page. And now we'll go to, let's go configure a test and try to run a test. We're going to choose a stockpile test. We fill in our location. This is touchscreen accessible or through the keyboard and mouse. Okay, I'm just filling in anything just so that the program doesn't object to us. And just to demonstrate that if any of this information is missing for a test and you try to test, it won't let you. So we say accept test data. And the program's telling us we have an error, we're missing data. And it tells us what data is missing. So we can go back in, we're going to select the sieves that we want to be used in this test.
Automatically selects the pan.
And now we check to see if we have complete data for a test. And the software tells us that the information has been accepted. We're ready to test. That enables our Run Test button. And when we hit the Run Test, we'll be able to look over here at the current command being processed so we know what the test is doing. And as you can see, it's telling us we started the test. It's giving us a dialog. It says please load the sieves and close the chamber lid. Press OK when complete. It's moving the lift to different positions and taking a load cell reading. What we're doing is reading each sieve and calculating a tar weight. When it's done with that, it's going to give us another dialog. It's going to ask us to load our sample. That'll be coming up as soon as it finishes reading the initial 15.
Talk about how you don't need to use this different sieves.
Okay, so we're prompted here to go ahead and load our samples into the chamber. When we're done, we click OK. And at any time during this test, we can abort if we want to. And I'm sorry, what was that about the sieves?
How you can choose certain sieves and what happens with the data.
Oh, okay, sure. Although all sieves are available to be checked, if you don't check off certain sieves for a test, whatever weights are found on that sieve will be added to the next one below it that was checked for the test. So it's just as if that sieve never existed. At any time during this test, the interlocks, the safety interlocks, are being monitored at all times. If one of them opens up, this test will automatically abort. If for some reason the operator sees something wrong, he can also come over here and use the abort button. That too will stop the test. Right now, the current command says delay. What's really going on is the chamber is rotating. The samples are going through the sieves, and this will happen for about 1 minute. When that's complete, the final data will come up. We could demonstrate an abort if you want, or just let this play through to the end.
Yeah, we'll play it through and then we'll do an abort after.
Okay, good. So at this point, there's not a lot to watch, not a lot to do. You can be off doing something else while this is testing. Okay, the test sequence is completed. This is just a quick visual of the results. And in this first column, next to each of the sieves, it tells you if it was selected or not. If you recall, we selected all of them. And it shows the intermediate weights that happen, the tar, the net, and the final weights. And if we zoom over here, we can see the actual weight of what was left in each one of the sieves. I suppose we could run another test and only select a couple of sieves, and you'd see that it would add up to the next selected one below it if it was not selected itself. Over here is a display of all available tests that we could look at from the past. And I don't know, Joel, is there anything else you want to show from here? Shall we show an aborted test?
Yeah, show them what happens when you abort a test.
Okay, so we'll start another test. And we'll choose the stockpile. We'll fill in the location with anything. Whoops. Gotta hit accept. And the same thing for the operator. And we'll choose a couple of sieves. And our information has been accepted. We're ready to test. So we start the test. And we can see over here what's going on. The test has started. It wants us to load up. Close the chamber, I'm sorry. So we close the chamber and the test proceeds. It's calculating tire weights. And I notice that maybe something's wrong, so I'm going to abort the test right now.
Test aborted by operator.
And it will differentiate if the operator aborted the test or had someone opened up a safety interlock. It differentiates and says it was aborted by a safety interlock.
Perfect.